The night was electric long before the first punch was thrown. The arena, packed to the rafters with roaring fans from across the region, buzzed with an energy that seemed to vibrate in the air. Lights pulsed, music thumped, and camera crews moved like shadows across the edge of the ring. It wasn't just another fight night. It was a storm building towards something unforgettable. The spotlight swept over the crowd before finally settling on the ramp where the fighters would make their entrance. First, the announcer's voice rang out over the speakers, cutting through the rising noise. Fighting out of La Paz, Mexico, give it up for Felipe Romero. The crowd exploded. A wall of cheers followed Felipe as he walked steadily to the ring, his robe shimmering under the lights, his eyes locked straight ahead. There was no smile, no showboating. Just focus. The weight of his country, his family, his training, all of it sat on his shoulders, and he welcomed it. This was his moment. The music surged, echoing like thunder, as his name was repeated again. Romero climbed the steps slowly, ducked through the ropes, and stood tall in his corner, absorbing the atmosphere like a storm gathering strength. Moments later, the tone shifted. And now, his opponent, make some noise for Dmitry Bivol. Another wave of sound filled the air as Dmitry entered, his expression cool and unreadable, eyes hidden behind his hood. A different energy followed him, calm, measured, but dangerous. He was here not for fame, not for the crowd, but for the win. As he entered the ring, he met Felipe's eyes with the kind of cold intensity that told everyone this would not be a dance. This would be a war. The referee brought them to the center. Gloves touched. Instructions were given. And then the bell rang. The first round began with the kind of tension that could stop time. The music faded into the background as the crowd leaned in, holding its collective breath. Both fighters circled, analyzing, reading, searching for the smallest mistake. Felipe moved first, testing with a jab, feeling out the distance. Dmitry responded with a quick counter, not a strike to hurt, but a reminder that he was watching. That nothing would come easy tonight. Then something shifted. Felipe's left hand dipped slightly, a technical lapse perhaps from nerves or instinct, and Dmitry saw it. It was brief, half a second, but in boxing, half a second is an eternity. Dmitry lunged, testing that opening with a sharp cross. It grazed Felipe, enough to force a reset. Felipe took a step back, readjusted, and came in again, this time faster, more alert. And then came the first real shot of the night. Felipe timed a perfect right hand down the middle that landed clean on Dmitry's chin. The sound of the impact cracked through the air like a whip, and the crowd responded instantly. Cheers erupted. In the commentary box, Milwaukee Jones shouted, "That's a strong one." He's still standing, but he felt that. "Get up! Get up!" fans screamed, though Dmitry had not yet fallen. It was a warning, a message from the crowd that the real fight had begun. Each round that followed only built on the chaos. The fighters traded blows like warriors, each trying to impose their will. Felipe's combinations were sharp, precise, thrown with speed and confidence. Dmitry, more patient, relied on timing, slipping inside the pocket to deliver punishing counters. It wasn't a fight anymore, it was a test of human limits. Blood was drawn by the third round. Sweat poured from their bodies in waves, soaking their gloves, the mat, and their corners. Still, they pressed on. Between rounds, trainers shouted advice, urgency in their voices. Ice packs pressed to faces, water bottles poured over heads, gloved hands tapped against thighs in rhythm as each fighter prepared to go back in. The music between rounds was drowned out by the sound of fans chanting names, clapping, stomping, living and breathing every second as if they too were inside the ring. As the rounds progressed, fatigue began to show. Movement slowed. Guards dropped just a little more. And yet the heart never faded. Felipe started landing more frequently, especially to body. Short hooks to the ribs. Jabs to the stomach. Each one chipping away at Dmitry's endurance. But Dmitry, stubborn as stone, refused to step back. He answered every attack with something of his own. He pushed forward, even when his legs screamed at him to stop. By the 10th round, both men looked battered but far from broken. The noise from the crowd swelled again as they sensed the fight could end at any moment. Then it happened. Felipe saw his opening, a window no wider than a blink. He unleashed a brutal combination, a jab to line up, then a right hook, left uppercut, and another right hand that landed flush on the jaw. Dmitry's head snapped back. His knees buckled. And then he was down. The referee rushed in. The crowd leapt to their feet, a wall of sound crashing into the ring. The music surged again, louder, faster, matching the heartbeat of every person watching.